Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku 2 is the second major RPG based on the later seasons of the anime for the Game Boy Advance. The original Legacy of Goku doesn't get a lot of attention, mostly because it's terrible in comparison. So what's the deal with the Legacy of Goku 2? The game takes place at the middle of Season 4 to the end of Season 6 of the anime series. It covers the events of the Android Saga and the entirety of the Cell Saga. You pretty much know what to expect in here. Luckily, there are a few curveballs thrown in, including content from the DBZ movies with the villain Cooler, Frieza's brother. Visually, the game looks great, giving an almost chibi-style presentation, similar to what you would find with JRPGs. All of your favorite Z fighters are here: Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Trunks. Each of them are playable at some point with their own special attacks. So does that mean that this game does justice to the anime? Yeah, it does, which is a lot more that could be said for other DBZ games. On the Game Boy Advance, The Legacy of Goku 2 plays like a very simple action RPG. Your physical and energy attacks are mapped to the buttons, and you move around battling enemies within each area. Battles could get very repetitive, but that doesn't mean that they're bad. I'll admit though, it does look goofy when you hit someone and they slide behind you to avoid getting locked into a corner. That happens a lot with some of the boss battles. You gain XP from defeating enemies, with new attacks opening up as you progress through the story and level up. All of this works out pretty great. The big hurdle is that everyone eventually has to overcome the difficulty spikes. At some point, you'll need to grind with each character to get everyone on the same level. EXP is given to one character at a time, so if you forget to use Gohan for a long period, then be prepared to grind levels with him later on. Speaking of which, the later portion of the game forces you to use every character in some way. Everybody gets their moment to shine, but if they're underleveled, you'll have a very hard time. The final battle with Cell is a gauntlet of battles against the Cell Juniors and fighting Cell himself with Gohan. If you lose any fight, you'll have to restart from the beginning. Stuff like that is pretty bad because it gets frustrating when you realize you're not leveled up midway through. If there were checkpoints placed in between the battles, then there'd be no issue. Other moments within the game are a lot more forgiving though, provided you saved at a good spot beforehand. Now what about the exploration though? Outside of the main story, you get to explore the Dragon Ball world and see many things that fans will appreciate. Some quests have you fetching items, searching for missing Namex, and fighting groups of enemies. Within that are many inside jokes that Dragon Ball fans will get, especially if you've watched the series for a long time since the original Dragon Ball anime. A cool moment in the game is when you have to travel around the map searching for the Dragon Balls. You'll visit every location all over the map, which is surprisingly big. Something really cool is the optional encounters that you find, including one with Cooler. It's a neat addition that you don't have to complete, but it leads to a cool battle. All of this side content might feel tedious at times, but it's definitely not lackluster. So, whether you're a big DBZ fan or not, does this game still offer a great experience? Can I recommend that you play Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku 2 for the Game Boy Advance? I would say yeah, because this game is easy to get into, and it covers everything you need to know from the anime without being too jumbled. Will it turn you into a Dragon Ball fan? Probably not, but it's a perfect story for an RPG, covering a lot of ground from the anime. The combat and the exploration is very solid. It's challenging enough to enjoy without being too restrictive, despite a few difficulty spikes. In my opinion, this is one of the better action RPGs on the GBA, so you should definitely look into playing it when you can.